first of all, what is a Mary Sue? Now, Mary Sue comes from the 70s, from some piece of fan fiction called A Trekkie's Tale by Paula Smith, where it was published in the Menagerie. And that tells a story of a 15-and-a-half-year-old who Captain Kirk falls in love with. Ew, gross, but she turns him down. Good on you, girl. Spock thinks she's brilliant, and she basically runs the ship and saves the day. And it was sort of a mock piece of storytelling that was making fun of the fan fiction of the time, where people were putting themselves into stories and using it as a vice to basically blow smoke up their bums, their own bums. And it's just, yeah, so it's quite brilliant. But it's been taken on this whole new term. And a couple years ago, there was a huge controversy about whether or not Rey from the new Star Wars, well, not new anymore, but the most recent Star Wars trilogy was a Mary Sue, which I'm not going to get into that argument right now, but I would say that the term has become really, really loaded. And maybe that's why I took real offense when my girl Nancy got totally jumped in with the sort of late 90s, early 2000s super awesome rock star women who were strong characters, strong female characters. For the next little bit, we're going to be talking about why that's problematic, but that's a video for another day. But strong female characters who were basically awesome and everybody else couldn't keep up with them. And it was a bit of a problem. So, fair enough, fair call. Some of those characters were not so hot, but Nancy does not fall into the category. Not even Nancy of the books, and very much not Nancy of the new CW show, which is a very different character. I want to tell you why. First, these were mysteries for young girls to read. Young girls, not women, because they were, before they were 18, preteens to read. So they're girls. And I'm reading it with my daughter, who's 6. And it is, I mean, it's dated. There's definitely that. But Nancy is written like a Sherlock Holmes character. We wouldn't call Sherlock Holmes a Mary Sue, even though he obviously, he outsmarts Scotland Yard, he outsmarts Dr. Watson, he outsmarts Scotland Yard, he outsmarts everybody. And his only rival really is Moriarty, and he outsmarts him too, and he's got this super smart detective brain, which is elementary, and off he goes. And nobody calls him a Mary Sue, so why is Nancy getting lumped in with that? She is exactly that. She is a super sleuth, and it's awesome. It's awesome, and I love it. But, so what is not a Mary Sue? A Mary Sue is not a transformative character. They're the same at the beginning, they're same at the end. Well, my problem with this is the Martian, which you wouldn't call Matt Damon's character in Mary Sue. He is not transformed by that story at all. It is perfectly valid to tell a story that the character is not transformed. So yes, okay, Nancy is not transformed, but neither is Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes doesn't get transformed from the beginning to the end. So why? Just because she's a girl? Come on, like 2022 guys, are we better than this? Second, she's got, she doesn't have any motivation. She's not motivated to do the story. She's just doing it through being pushed through or whatever. There's no personal stakes involved for a Mary Sue. How like Sherlock Holmes, again, I hate to harp on the poor guy, but his personal motivation is his own ego. And with Nancy's motivation in this book is to help people that she thinks are worthy. She wants to help them out. And it's a little bit, good, black and white morality going on. But I mean, it was, a long time ago. This is pre-Mad Men era. But it was just, so there's no ambiguity at all. She wants to help In this, she wants to help a group of people, starting with a little girl called Judy. She wants to help a little girl called Judy and her aunts get through financially and get the inheritance that they were promised, which has been stolen from them. That's her motivation. She wants to do it. She's a good person. It's nice. She's nice. Poor Nancy. Because she has no motivation, she becomes a punching bag for the plot. There's nothing pushing her through the story. The story kind of just drags her along. That's what happens with Mary Sue. Now, Nancy definitely has agency. She's making choices in this book the same way Charlotte does, because her motivation is key. His motivation is to solve the case. Her motivation is to solve the case because she wants to help people. His is because of his ego. But, you know, we like that better because we're going to call this a Mary Sue. Anyway, the character has struggles, both internal and external. The character is lacking struggles. Generally internal struggles as well as external struggles, possibly. So a Mary Sue doesn't really struggle, is the problem. Well, she's struggling because she's trying to solve the case, and yeah, she doesn't have any internal struggles, but neither does Sherlock Holmes, and neither does the Martian. It is okay to tell stories sometimes that aren't deeply meaningful and transformative. It is okay to have a romp every once in a while, and that doesn't make it a bad story. Why are we still harping on this in 2022 and calling people Mary Sues? I'm sorry. And the last one is totally loaded, because we never ask this of a male character, but a Mary Sue isn't likable. I could talk to you all day, every day, for all of 2022 about why I don't care if the character is likable. And that is going to be a video for another day. We're going to talk about why likability is such a problem in storytelling, and we're talking about strong female characters and likability in 2022. It is ridiculous. But Nancy's likable. Everybody likes Nancy. I mean, come on. So, gotta say, love the take. And they come to the same conclusion that the term is problematic. But I still gotta say that even if we're going to use the term, Nancy isn't a Mary Sue.